Hello, everybody. How's it going? I'm wowcrendor, and welcome back to another episode of Fishing with Crendor. I believe we're on 41 at this point. We're at a lot,
You
but
never keep track. That's one
I
thing
never
I
keep
know.
track. I never keep track, but I actually did kind of keep track because I'm pretty sure it is 41. But I'm also, it doesn't matter. So
You're
today,
never sure enough to say it is definitely episode 41.
yeah, I'm never sure enough. I'm like 80% sure. But today we're joined by Ian of iDubbbz. I take it you'd rather be called Ian than iDubbbz, but I mean, I don't know at this point.
Yeah, Ian's good. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, hey, thanks for joining me. I'm
Thanks
sure
for
you have
having me.
I'm sure you have a busy schedule, loaded with many things.
Yeah, it's really, it takes a lot to, not upload for months at a time.
I can imagine. As somebody who rarely uploads, I can agree. It's one of those things, especially, oh my god, being like, having done this for so long, I had so many people like, when are you going to do the videos like you used to do 5 years ago? And I'm like,
Oh,
well, maybe I will. Maybe I'm just tired of them. Maybe I'll make one. It just depends.
yeah, that's a completely different you. All the
Yeah.
cells in your body have already changed. You're a
Yeah.
different person entirely.
So why don't you, for the people who don't know who you are, go ahead and just tell everybody who you are.
All right. My name's Ian. I run 3 channels. All right. I'm trying to run 3 channels right now. But my main channel sort of focuses on critiquing other people's content, sometimes the person themselves. And yeah, really into just sort of making, I guess, ranty sort of videos. And I don't know. I like doing a little bit of everything. Recently started trying to produce content for my gaming channel, and it's a bit of a challenge.
What's the biggest challenge for you with that?
Well, I kind of just want to play games and have fun, but I feel like there's sort of an expectation to sink more time into videos so that they're a little bit more well thought out rather than just, I guess, simply a let's play. I don't know if they're even called that anymore, but
I think they are.
just I guess anytime you want to put more work into a video, it just adds, days upon weeks, because it's like you have more time to criticize what you're doing, and it just leads to a horrible rabbit hole of what more can I do to improve it.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's kind of like when you compare a lot of YouTubers and Twitch stuff. Like, I didn't even know you played games when I first started watching you, and then I like learned. I guess you started with games, right? Like that was your
Yeah,
thing
exactly.
you're gonna do at first.
Yeah, because that's always sort of the thing that most young guys want to do. It's like, play games, make money, sounds great.
Yep.
That's like the perfect life. And if you're not skilled enough, to attract viewers through, whatever awesome first-person shooter PUBG sort of gameplay that you can provide, you kind of just have to entertain people. So in this constant pursuit to entertain people, you end up trying a lot of different stuff. So I went from gaming to, oddly enough, like a weird gaming news thing, and then from that I reviewed Kickstarter projects, and now I'm doing whatever whatever I think will sort of, people will like, I guess.
Yeah, so why don't you tell everybody, let's start, like, how'd you get into video games? Like, were you just 5 years old and you're like, I got a Nintendo?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think most people are gonna have like a similar like start. It's like, yeah, my grandfather bought me my first Super Nintendo, and I think that came with like, I think Donkey Kong Country or something like that, and that was good. But like, I think the big problem with like these young, like, I guess our generation getting these I guess 2D consoles, where it was like there was like big emphasis on like skilled platforming and stuff like that. So like I ended up getting like all these games for the Super Nintendo, and they were all so fucking difficult. Like you can't like I can't even do them now at like my age.
Yeah.
Like, and as a kid, it was just like you played it for a second, and then you just have horrible. I shouldn't say horrible memories, but like they weren't the most positive memories. I have more positive memories with something that's easy, like Pokemon
Yeah.
or what have you, Pokemon Red Blue. Like I don't know. Did you have a Super Nintendo?
I did have Super Nintendo. Like, 'cause I had like a Nintendo for a bit, but then Super Nintendo was my thing I got really into. And I remember I
Yeah.
played a lot of Kirby, and there was one Kirby Tetris game that I would
Oh,
play, and I tried going back and playing it a few years ago, and I was terrible. And I was like, I
right.
beat this as a kid. And I
Oh,
was like,
that's so you had the opposite.
yeah, I felt
Effect as
shame
me.
upon myself and my family
All right.
because I couldn't do it.
Man, did you have any like obscure games on the Super Nintendo? Because that's mainly what I had. It was like All Real Monsters on the Nintendo and Speedy
Mhm.
Gonzales, like just weird
Like
shit.
those out there games, yeah.
Yeah, kind of a money grab sort of thing. Where
Yeah.
it's like,
It's kind of like now where they make games out of movies and stuff, but it was even more so back then because they would just take random ass characters. Like I remember
oh
I
yeah,
played one game, and I don't know if I even found the right game or something. I was asking Twitch when I was streaming, and people were like, "Oh, I think it's this game." It was just some weird game with a mole and like a badger and a kid in a hat, and I was like, "Who thought this up?" It's such a I don't even know, but there's so many of those games. Yeah.
yeah. Well, and it's in some ways, I guess it was easier because there was less expectation of what you needed to put in the games.
Hmm.
As far as like, I guess getting on store shelves because that was an actual thing.
Yeah.
Rather than these days where it's like, I guess Steam Greenlight is the new kid with a badger and a hat and a mole, or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever you said.
Well, I guess too. A lot of games you would try to get at Blockbuster. Like,
Right,
just
right.
go rent a game and be like, "Ooh, a game for 5 days," and
Right.
if you like
That's-
it, you try to rent it again.
Yeah, that was pretty positive ASMR, I think, in my gaming years as a kid, is going to Blockbuster. That was fun. I
Yeah.
remember jacking the Yu-Gi-Oh cards out of the what was it? It was the I was stealing. Okay, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. But basically, there was like I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh at the time, and they made some shitty games for it.
Mhm.
But like they had promotional cards that came in the game packaging. But like Blockbuster didn't have anything to do with these fucking game cards.
Yeah.
So they just like kind of leave it in there on the shelf with the packaging. So you just pop it open, and you got 3 like nice little foil cards. But yeah, like that was sort of like the it could be tantamount to like leaving your kid at like a Best Buy or something. Like have
Mhm.
fun for the day. Like they have games that you can play here,
Yeah.
even though it's not a daycare.
I even remember the first time I played Nintendo 64 was at a Blockbuster. They
Yeah.
had those like console things set up because I was like, "Oh my god, it's Mario in 3D. This is
Yeah.
amazing."
Oh, this is such a treat. Like that, I recently saw a video on YouTube where they were talking about like the last surviving Blockbuster, and people kind of just go there now as like this weird sort of ASMR experience. It's like, yeah, we go in there, we have the smell of the popcorn, and yeah, it's all carpeted and nice, looks exactly like a Blockbuster. It's like shit.
Like
Like,
an ancient relic.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Well, I was
so
just thinking
beautiful.
about that the other day with the Toys R Us disappearing.
Oh,
This
yeah.
idea that like you're never going to experience. I mean, I say never, but like maybe one will exist somewhere. But like if people really miss that weird sort of feeling that can't be replicated, like someone could make their own weird like ASMR amusement parks, failed restaurants, and other business establishments.
Yeah, there's like I have a weird nostalgic thing with retail stores. I know some
Yeah.
retail, like some of them, like pump smells into them and shit. Like I think Subway does that. Like
Re-
even though they're
oh.
like, "Oh, smell the bread," I guarantee they like pump some fumes into the store.
Some other stuff.
Yeah.
Some weird like odor you can't quite put your finger on, sort of like
Yeah.
the MSG of odors.
But it's Yeah, it's like that. Or sometimes I'll go to the Container Store. I
The
love the
Container
smell.
Store.
I love the smell of the Container Store, and I don't know what it is. Like when I go in there, I feel my blood pressure drop. It's like a zen experience.
You're gonna have to explain the Container Store to me because I've only ever seen sort of low context radio advertisements or commercials for it. What is the
Hmm.
Container Store?
Container Store is like a Los Angeles Valley Girls dream store. And you pretty much go in there, and there's just a bunch of containers, or just OCD people in general. It's just everything's organized. You can buy stuff
Right.
to organize. It's just very clean. It smells good, and I think that's why I like it. It's so clean. It smells good. It's like everything's in order, and I'm like, all right, everything's in order. Everything's
That's
good.
great.
Life is, yeah. And so I'll just
You'd really like the U-Line product catalog.
yeah. I probably
They
would.
have all sorts of organized, like industrial grade organizing things and containers and all sorts of stuff.
Well, I'm a very aesthetic, environmental person, which is part of the reason I always loved IKEA and why it became like a meme for
Oh yeah.
me and everything. But like, I just love the fact that I can go into a building and like go into essentially like 100 different rooms because it's like I'm feeding that part of me that's just like, oh yeah, I love the aesthetic and the environments, which is I think
Right.
why I like doing things like this in WoW, where we're fishing in Ungoro and like all the different zones and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of which, how did you get? Now I'm curious, like, how did you get into WoW, or even just like PC gaming? So like, you had a console, like everybody's got console and stuff. When did you actually get a
Right.
computer? Because I know that's like a big experience when you're a kid.
It is. So I think for me, it probably started on the family computer. Everyone's got this like weird 90s, early 2000s tale of like the family computer,
Mm-hmm.
and it just sits in the middle of the house, and the child ends up, just having a monopoly on it.
Yeah.
No, like, what was it? I think my first computer game was Warcraft 3, and that shit was like super weird. Like it felt oddly mature, like I shouldn't be like playing it because it's on a computer. Everything about it just felt kind of wrong after playing on a console with kids games
Mm-hmm.
for so long. But yeah, it was Warcraft 3. It's a really weird thing. Like, I enjoyed it, and I think I fell in love with the lore more than anything else. I was just like, yeah, this is cool. Orcs, humans, elves, all this sort of shit. Terrible at the game. Always had to type in greed is good to fucking get my lumber and gold
Yeah,
up there
cheat
to
codes.
actually beat the campaign.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually it was just like, oh, I saw a trailer, whatever, people were talking about World of Warcraft, and I just became obsessed. I was like, this is going to be awesome. Like, it was pretty much like just my fucking dream game. So I got it like day one. I got the collector's edition of it. I went full on. I had a nice little cloth map that came in my collector's edition.
Yeah.
I'd look at that in my spare time. Full autism going on.
Was it
So
like?
yeah, that was sort of the foray into World of Warcraft.
Did you have like any friends that were playing it, or was it just you?
No, not at all. Just me, which is extra sad, I think, because I think probably people usually experience like the peer pressure of their friends, like committing to a game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was for you. Did you have that with WoW, or was it like?
Yeah. So like, I had all my like a couple real life friends, and then my online friends essentially that I played like RTS games with, like Age of
Right.
Empires and Empire Earth and all those games, and then they got like, oh yeah, we're getting WoW, and I'm like, I can't pay for that. That's $15 a month. Like, and so, but then they all got it, and I'm like, I gotta get it now.
Yeah.
So that was my kind of thing. But yeah, it's how did that go being somebody that got it by themselves? Like, did you just run around questing?
Oh yeah, like it was. I was just so enthralled with it. Like because I had never played an MMO. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, like I know MMOs were around in, various forms. I guess Age of Empires was Age of Empires one. That's an
RTS
right?
game. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking of. EverQuest or something.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
EverQuest.
But yeah, like I wasn't even aware of those things, so I really like was under the impression that WoW was like really one of a kind with this new novel idea. So that's why I sort of got obsessed with it, and I was just consumed with the world. It was like it just felt fucking awesome. Eventually, like I made friends in the game, so like they certainly helped like fuel my continued use of the game.
Yeah. It's like a drug. Of course.
Yeah, I mean, for a while it was really unhealthy, I think, the amount that I played it. I probably at a certain point after playing it as long as I did, I think I had a year in game time on a character. On my main character, which is just like disgusting.
A year in like 1 year.
No,
It's
not
like,
in 1 year.
I played nonstop.
Probably 4 years, maybe. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure how long Vanilla WoW actually lasted.
I think it was about 2.5 years.
Okay, then a year in game time in 2.5 years. That's sick. That's disgusting.
So did you just sit there at your computer like 8 hours a day, just nonstop?
Yeah.
Like, what did you do in game? Were you like raiding? Were you PvP?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing a lot of raiding, and I think that was probably my initially I think it's sort of what I thought was the dumbest thing about the game. Like, oh, how stupid. Like, I can't experience the content in this game without coordinating with 39 other people. But after I got in a guild, experienced these raids, I was like, this is what makes this game fucking awesome. It's the fact that 40 strangers are organizing to get fucking digital loot. Like, this is stupid, but awesome at the same time.
Were you like a high ranking person, like a guild officer or something, like telling people what to do, or were you just kind of showed up and did it?
No, I was just a fucking achievement earned, 50 fish. Nice.
Congratulations. Yeah, they have achievements. You probably didn't know.
No, I'm not familiar with that. But no, I maybe took it a bit more serious early on, but the more I sort of wanted the game to be fun for me, the more I sort of goofed off and didn't want, roles in guilds or raids or anything like that. I was just, I guess, reliable DPS is sort of what I was.
Yeah. What did you play?
I played a troll warrior, but I was a fury warrior. So I ended up being, I was a tank for a while, but then I ended up being like DPS in raids, which was kind of a weird thing. I mean, I don't know what things are nowadays. Like fury warrior, does that even mean anything?
Yeah, they still have fury warriors. They still got arms, fury prot, but it's everything's a lot more generalized, I guess you could say, where like all the classes can essentially do similar things, at least comparatively to like what it used to be.
Right.
Where it used to be like, oh yeah, you need a hunter to do this thing, and only a hunter can do this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like that change a little bit, because they were like, people were really not open early on to like having warriors doing DPS in raid. It's like, fucking why? Like, this is stupid. Like, do your job, pig. But like later on, it seemed like once we sort of got the program down, it was like, yeah, like we could do this. We can allow this. So that was kind of cool. Like having that sort of weird, like very unique role. Cause I think it speaks to sort of kind of the essence of the game is you have your character that means a lot to you. And it, it's very uniquely its thing. So I think even being able to make, your character more unique by having these very odd roles is kind of cool.
Yeah. And I can see like why they took the direction they did, because it's obviously catering to more people and keeping more people playing and a bigger audience and everything. Well, back then it was a lot more, these are like the people that play games, like hardcore RPG. Right. You are going to spend a year out of 2.5 years sitting there, doing raids.
Exactly.
So,
how I was gonna
Mhm.
say, do you have more of an affinity toward like vanilla WoW, or you just kind of like are there certain expansions that are much better in your eyes than others?
Definitely. I think a lot of there's like the classic WoW thing happening, which I'll bring up, but
Mhm.
we like TBC, the Burning Crusade, which was the
Right.
first expansion they did. That's like a lot of people's favorite, and I think part of it's a lot of people started playing during that time.
Right. So it's just what they remember.
Yeah. And then Wrath of the Lich King was a big one. And a lot of that's just from Warcraft 3, like fighting
Uh-huh.
Arthas and doing all that.
Oh yeah.
So that was a big one for that reason. Then all the ones after that, like Cataclysm, Pandaria, Draenor, a lot of those, like, they've kind of been like, they're okay, but nothing crazy.
Just a
And then,
bit filler, really.
yeah. But the last two they've done, like Legion and now BFA, I've actually enjoyed probably the most in a long time. So I think if anyone's going to get back into the game, I think now is probably the best time to do it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I like
But
that.
speaking of classic WoW,
Mhm.
would you play classic WoW then, having been like a big old school WoW person and only playing old school WoW?
Yeah. So about 6 months ago, I was kind of wanting to make a video about like my experience playing WoW, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, cool! I'll like try to get my account back, and just it would be kind of a funny thing, like maybe even a cool video title, like you know checking out my character after 10 years of inactivity on
Yeah.
on World of Warcraft or whatever the fuck the
Crazy
case is."
reaction. Hashtag crazy stuff
Exactly.
gone wild.
So it took a little while, but I eventually got it, and I went into the game, and I was like, "All right, this is cool." And I was like, just like overwhelmed with the amount of shit that has changed. Um, so it like I was really like, it didn't feel good, and I didn't feel like I was even like making a good video. So I was like, kind of like doing research, and like a lot of the things that I did like about classic WoW just obviously were no longer there. So what the video ended up being was just like me ranting for like, 10 minutes about like how everything's different and nothing's the same and how this is pissing me off and all this sort of stuff. So that's
The
when I like
80-year-old
became
man
aware
rant.
that what was that?
The 80-year-old man rant. It's like
Exactly.
everything's different.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys have it so much easier, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Um and so that's when I sort of started looking into classic WoW a bit more, and realized that it's a thing. But I can't put my finger on everything that is going to make it better.
Hmm.
Because there's certain like objectively like there's so much more that they've improved upon.
Hmm.
I don't know what people are really looking for from classic WoW. I have my reasons. It's like I think one of the things was like a lot of the real wacky items that I think broke the game. Like that was I like hunted those out, and I like kept really weird like pieces of armor and weapons that I really thought were unique and fun in this world. I like kept them in my bank. Like there was one, it was like I think rocket boots or something like that.
Hmm.
And there was another one that I got from I forget, it was some low level dungeon. It was this axe that a chance on hit, it would proc a like a whirlwind effect,
Oh yeah.
and I just like love like whipping these things out during raids, and people would just like be sighing as I'm using this just fucking like absolutely retarded weapon.
Well, they do have in the current game an actual like collection tab, which has your mounts, your pets, because they had pets in, and then toys, which is like I feel like you'd love the toy tab because it is literally just all those things.
Really?
In one, yeah, like they actually made a category for those, and they like make them like there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
Oh, okay, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm into the toys. I got the and the pets. I got the because I got the collector's edition. I ended up getting like a baby Diablo, and in the first BlizzCon you got like a tiny Murloc or whatever.
yeah.
Those
That's-
things were fun at the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they actually sell for a lot of money now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sell this account then eventually.
So do you have like any specific favorite memories from when you were raiding or like playing WoW and all that type of stuff?
Oh yeah. So I was telling you a little bit about how I would get I didn't take the raids as seriously like later when I was playing.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my Russian friend Oleg, this was like an East Coast server. He was like living in Florida, I think, at the time. But we would just goof off constantly in these raids. And the voice program we used was Ventrilo. That's what we used to communicate. And there was this feature that we like found out where you can bind a hotkey to basically like talk to a specific person in the in the voice channel, but no one else would hear it. So we would just raid after raid constantly, like, troll people by like just riling up people in the like during the raid, and they'd be freaking out. We'd be calling them names and stuff, and they'd be freaking out in the voice chat, and no one would have any idea why they were doing it. They would just think that they're fucking crazy. So that was a pretty good memory, just like basically ruining raids in a way.
Yeah.
And picking on people. But yeah, I think the raids overall were probably my best memory. Is like, just like, I don't know, it's really interesting as like a young person to interact with people and from all different, backgrounds and walks of life.
Yeah.
Our guild leader was like a pastor, and he had to like he couldn't raid on Sundays.
He's like a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, which is just a weird thing, and it's just like everyone, just all these different people from all over the world, like coming together just to, kill these bosses. It was sick. Like, really loved raiding Molten Core. Felt super intense. These massive, bosses that we were killing. Sorry, I'm saying bosses and, killing, and I'm just like it sounds like I'm a fake WoW fan, but really I did it. I
love these massive bosses as a hashtag gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an E3 thing. You're going to love the new massive bosses we've implemented into this fun.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, I think one of the reasons people love that old school WoW thing is because of like how tight knit the communities were, and like the people, because it was a very old school RPG back then. And so like obviously like even now where you're like, wow, you can have cross realm stuff, people kind of liked it back then, where it was like, you're on your realm, the people on your realm. Like if you PvP, you're like, oh, I'm going up against Taran Nader again, like, I don't know, some dumb name.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense though.
Yeah.
It's like you could actually like end up having a like making a name for yourself on a server.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. Do you remember that? Like, there's like it's like a meme post about like some like, I think, orc rogue that made it like a habit to fuck with people at some like dock on this PvP server, and that's like what he spent all his time doing. It was,
never heard of
it was
that.
Fucking awesome. Yeah, it was like this big thing where it was like, if you're on this specific server, it's like, watch out for this guy. He like became part of the game.
Yeah,
crazy cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It makes it part of the world where you're just like, oh yeah, that's Old Man Johnson's house. You don't go near there; it'll gank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, what got you into making World of Warcraft video content then?
Oh yeah, pretty much I started making WoW videos just because I was like, it'd be fun just to like make some dumb WoW videos. Like I made everybody was making these PvP videos, and so I made one to make fun of a person in our guild.
Right.
Because they like tried to make one and it was like dun, dun, they had like the shitty music behind. Yeah, so I just
like Disturbed as you're going around.
Yeah. They got all the text flying around, so I just made some really bad Windows Movie Maker one with like some shitty text like flying across the screen, like 10 damage, and like just some bad music. And it was still a terrible video, but I was like, hey, that was pretty fun. And
Yeah.
I tried like doing some Flash animation stuff and trying all that, and then I just was like, you know what? I've watched like a couple of like funny WoW videos. Like I can probably do that. Nobody makes them anymore, so like why
Right.
don't I try and do it? And then I just filled the void that I wanted essentially. So I was like, I want more of these, but nobody's making them. And that's really
that's
how I got
great.
into it. So is that like when did you try to do YouTube stuff?
Oh, I mean,
Or just videos in general,
well,
not just
I would
YouTube.
say like at least in as far as relatability to what you just said, like I think my first video for WoW was like they just introduced like the battlegrounds,
Hmm.
and they had these fucking snowballs that you can get to knock people
Oh,
around.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just made this fucking like this montage of me launching people to their deaths in these battlegrounds with the snowballs. It was to some fun like ACDC or something like that. Something absolutely stupid. But I was really into that. I used Windows Movie Maker too at the time, which worked quite well for what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever made a WoW video after that, because I got really into raiding, I think, after that happened.
Mm.
And I was using some fucking e-machine that my parents bought
Oh
me.
my
It was
God,
like on
yeah.
the... Huh?
I had an e-machine too.
Yeah, an e-machine. Real good
Yeah.
PC. So it was kind of like one of those things where like I think my game was running pretty poorly when I was using fraps, so I had no incentive to record our raids or do anything like that.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because I would really like to. I really would have liked to keep some of the shenanigans in the vault, but what can you do?
Yeah. I think
Um,
e-machines were actually the like Best Buy's generic computer
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah,
Like
it
straight
was-
out of like a factory in China with like the worst production value ever. But I mean, you know, it's like $400 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed kind of looking back that it was able to just, last me for probably 5 years for
Yeah.
playing a computer game on it every day. Like that's not too bad.
Yeah. It's
And it's
Yeah,
also
I-
cheap.
It is very, very cheap. I remember the last fishing with Crendor thing I did, I interviewed one of the dudes who like worked on Vanilla WoW, like creating all the dungeons and some zones and stuff, and he said that they actually worked on designing the game so that it wouldn't destroy your computer for like a casual user. That was like
that's
one
great.
of the big focuses they did, which I guess makes sense because then you reach a bigger market by doing
Right.
that. It was pretty cool. So actually, if you notice, like if you go to the starting zones, or even some of the dungeons and other things, it's like walled off when you try to leave it. You gotta like go around a wall, and that's to maintain like a better frame rate when you're playing it. Now
What
it doesn't
a
matter. but-
weird trick.
Yeah, I know. Because he's like, yeah, we
Like-
like wall off areas to do that.
Yeah. God damn. That's
yeah.
funny.
So it's pretty cool. I take it that's why, like, if you walk into Stormwind or Orgrimmar, you also got you got to take like a zigzag path, and I think that's for frame rate stuff too.
Oh, that's so cool. What a
I
weird
know.
thing. Because I always wondered that. Like, yeah, why do I do this zigzag path every time
Yeah.
I walk in Orgrimmar? It seems so fucking pointless.
Yeah. So I mean, it was cool talking to him, and then, like you just learn stuff like that. But I
That's
mean,
epic.
yeah, it's just cool, like learning so much about old school. Because I think for most people played old WoW, I think, and so it's nostalgic in some way to them, even if they didn't raid or do anything. I think most people have at least one memory with World of Warcraft. I think that's why it's
Right.
such a like as big of a game that it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there's gonna be kids now that'll be like, dude, remember Fortnite? That was some great times. I'm just like, I don't.
I'm trying to relate to him. I've tried a little bit of Fortnite, but man, it's like at least with WoW, like I feel like you have a chance at any skill level. It's like I just can't fucking.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to be good in that game.
The thing with Fortnite is just like the building. I'm really bad at the building.
Yep.
And part of me is like, the building's just so stupid, I hate it. But part of me hating it's because I'm not good at it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm the same way. It's fucking Old Man Jenkins. I fucking suck at this shit. Like, I'm going to criticize it for this one reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like my arthritis hands.
Yeah. It's really that. Like, I should be better at the building. It's kind of one of those things where, like, I also just don't have the desire to get better at it, which I think contributes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, like, after WoW happened and you, like, did all that, like, did you just stop playing games? Or, like, did you just play games, like, casually or something?
I think I just played it a bit more casually because I was like, I kind of looked at my past, 2 years and realized, like, how much time I had spent.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of made me sick to my stomach to realize that, like, time had, like, I wouldn't take the time I spent in WoW back because it wasn't like I was being antisocial completely.
Yeah.
Like, I was raiding with people. That was a good majority of the time spent is interacting with people and having a good time. So it's not as if I regret it for that reason. It's just that I spent too much time in the game, period. Like, if it was any game. And this game sort of encourages you to spend a lot of time in it. So I think that was the biggest problem for me.
Yeah.
I sort of seek out game. I really don't seek out any MMOs or anything like that because I know that it hits that part of my brain where I want to get better. I want to improve. And you really can constantly improve on this character, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost like a gambling thing. Or it just keeps bringing you back.
It's I quit though, and I think I ended up playing like a lot more. I played a lot of Halo 2 online with my friends. I think that was my like new thing to do, which was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Was never like a super into Halo or anything. It was just like my friends are like, "It's great, you gotta do it."
Yeah,
kind of the only time I got, I guess, peer pressured into starting a new game. I get peer pressured more these days, I guess.
Just slowly get more peer pressured.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I played Halo 2 like before WoW, and then WoW overtook the Halo 2. So you're just like kind of the opposite. Funny. But yeah, I remember Halo 2, even like the standby people. So there used to be like the standby thing on your modem for your cable modem. People would like lag it out or like do so if you were the host or something.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it was. I don't even know if there was ranked things in Halo. I don't even remember. I just remembered. You know, it was like original Xbox. They had those massive Xbox controllers too.
Yeah. You mean the original massive Xbox controller, or the standard Xbox controller that was still pretty big?
I'm not positive which one I'm talking about.
Because they made ones that were like a massive fucking mistake. They were gargantuan.
Yeah.
It was, they were weird. Then the buttons were far too. Like the white and black buttons were in a really weird place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got one of those. I think from like, I want to say it was Fry's or something with like a rebate, and I realized afterward, like, oh, that's why these are so cheap.
Yeah.
They suck.
There we go. Yeah, just search original Xbox controller. I think it's like the first image.
Yeah.
Is like, it's
original.
Almost. It's like a giant mass of just the Xbox.
Oh yeah,
button.
that's the one. Yeah, the white and black button were like way high at the top. Real weird thing.
Yeah.
Horrible shape too. Fuck that.
I like. Yeah, it's just like the logo takes up like a third of the controller. It's like, guys, did you know? It looks
like you put a little fucking aquarium in there. Like
yeah, some fish swimming around.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah. That reminds me, I have such horrible memories of like buying, or my parents buying me like cheaper Mad Catz controllers and accessories. That was heinous.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of them, they didn't even work well. Like you'd push a button and you'd like push it really hard. I remember I had to do that with some of those controllers.
Yeah, you have to push it really hard and it's like, this actually defeats the purpose entirely.
Like, yeah. Instead of just paying the extra like $10 or whatever it was.
Yeah. That would have not been an area to go cheap on.
What do you play? Like, what do you play nowadays? If you even play anything?
I play a lot of Hearthstone.
Oh,
Um, uh, yeah, it's I've been I want to say I've been playing it for 2 years, basically about the time I think the goblins and what was it called? Goblins and fucking bombs, whatever.
goblins and gnomes.
Yeah, goblins and gnomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I was getting confused because I thought there was like alliteration in it, and there is, but like the P is silent.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I started playing around that time, so like I don't have the horrible feeling of having to spend so much money in the game to get to be able to play competitively. And I really don't play competitively too often. I'm really into the arena.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I recently got for a video I'm working on, I recently got Legend because I'd been playing it so long, never got Legend. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try.
How long did it take you to get there fast?
I think it was like it fucking sucks. I never do it again. I think it was like 2 months in total. But like, yeah, there was some. I was on the precipice of quitting because it's like that sort of shit. It's like it's just doing a coin flip, you know, and that's really like the fucking percentages that they talk about in that game when the professionals are like, oh yes, you know, this one has a 55% win rate. It's like, that's good. Like,
yeah.
It's like, fuck. I hate my life. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Whenever I play Hearthstone, I either play for the gimmicky stuff to do, just because I love pulling off like really dumb shit. Like, oh my god, I can't believe he did that. It worked like 1 in 100 times. But like when it works, you're like, oh my god, that is great.
Oh yeah, it's super cool. I love watching the videos of people doing that too. Either like some sort of Hearthstone Mythbusters or like just some crazy combo no one would ever think of.
It's
that shit's a blast.
Arena, I really like Arena, and then I ended up playing Magic the Gathering Arena, and they have drafts in it, and it's essentially just like an arena draft. Well, drafts are essentially just Magic Arena because that came out first, but like, just it's so addicting to just do that because they're like, hey, buy packs and pick cards and then do it again, and I'm like, okay, and they're like, yeah, but it costs money, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh shit, interesting.
Yeah, so it's
that's why I like the arena draft in Hearthstone is because it is that sort of like randomized element where it's like I'm gonna do well if I open a good amount of packs. Essentially, that's really what you're doing. You're choosing between 3 cards, but
it's nice too because I think the problem with playing constructed, ranked, and all that is people are like, here's the best possible deck for winning, and with this you're kind of like, well, I gotta build it on my own, and somebody else got a different thing, so it's a bit more random.
Yeah, it feels good, I think.
Yeah,
but yeah, I would never suggest fucking playing competitive card games, period.
Yeah, well, card games are almost designed to get your money when you think about it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it would be a little bit Hearthstone. I like playing PUBG with friends and occasionally Fortnite with friends, just because it's like, I think it takes the sting out of those games if you play with friends. It's just it's a talking simulator, I guess.
Yeah, it's a podcast simulator.
Yeah, but there you go. So yeah, it's just like fucking whatever happens, it doesn't matter because you're catching up with bros, you know. It's like you die instantly, spectate your buddy for the rest of the game. It's like, it's pretty chill. Yeah,
well, it's like the perfect game to play. Like, I played so much PUBG because it was just really? That. Like, I would just stream it because I'd do a lot of just live streaming with it because it'd be like, oh, I'll just play with somebody else or go in somebody else's stream and play, and then you just talk and walk around.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, hey, a person. After like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it feels like, this is a real open world MMO where it's guaranteed to last, max 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. Do you think you would ever play modern WoW, like what we're doing right now?
Gosh, I don't think I would. It's too hard for me. I think well, I'm more of an adult, so I think I'm like more. I got my eyes more on responsibilities, so
Mm-hmm.
I would probably be able to like sort of responsibly allocate time to the game.
Right.
But I think my main desire in the game though would be like raiding with people and experiencing all of the like scripted content that you know the developers have put in there and put a lot of time into.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love the Warcraft lore. So ideally, I would come back with something that's just geared out, just so I could play through all the content that I've either missed or all the stuff that comes out as far as raids go. Because I think that's really where it shines for me. It just feels epic.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people like too. Like some of the lore they've kind of I forget the word. They kind of
Shoehorned in.
Yeah, they kind of shoehorn it a little bit. They change
Yeah.
some stuff, and then you're like, oh no. But I mean, I still
Yeah.
enjoyed the lore for what it is. It's like pretty good,
Mhm.
especially for just a video game. So many video games have such bad lore on top
Yeah.
of it all.
Yeah, it comes secondary.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is one of the reasons a lot of other MMORPGs just fail. Like, there's been so many other ones, like Warhammer tried one. God, what are the EverQuest 2? There's some Star Wars ones. Like, did you ever play any
Right.
of those? Like, any other? Or was WoW just your only one? And
I
then you're like,
think
I'm never
WoW
going
was the only one I played. I may have fucked around with some like free ones that were like that. Trying to think of it. They have the most obscure, like not interesting names. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like very briefly, like none of them. All of the free ones end up having some sort of like pay
Yeah.
option later on that just make it stupid.
Yeah.
You'd almost rather pay the 15 or even up to $20 per month just to avoid any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when in WoW, a lot of people come back to that for that reason too. It's like not even just nostalgia, but just because it's simple. It's like, oh yeah, I got a character there already. I know the game, I know
Right.
everything about it. So you play like a different game, and then when you run out of stuff to do, you're like, guess I'll go back to WoW, and that just hooks you in, and you forget about that other game on
Right.
top of it. So
Yeah, I definitely feel the same about it. It's like it's one of these games where like I think what they should seek to do probably is like cut the lore at a certain point or like stop building upon the story because it for me it feels a lot like TV shows that just continue like
Yeah.
Lost or whatever else. Like eventually you're going to kind of like to introduce new content, like new interesting stuff, mechanics or whatever. You're
Mhm.
going to necessarily have to like put more shit out there which is going to like contradict what you already have set up a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not like. I just want it to end. I want it to gracefully, die.
A lot of people have wanted like Warcraft 4 as like an RTS game for that
I
reason.
want that.
Yeah.
They have all the content for it. It's just turned fucking World of Warcraft into a,
Yeah.
an RTS. That would be fucking amazing. I want that more than anything.
Well, I've been saying it because people are like, oh, Warcraft 4, like, what are they going to do with WoW then? It's like, well, they'd create new lore. Like, Warcraft 4 could do, like, new lore, and then you can retire the old lore and move on to something new.
Right.
And then, they can create some sort of esport out of it because I know they love esports now because they're like money.
Right.
And,
Yeah,
I think it's,
make an esport out of it.
yeah, it's got a whole lot of potential. Plus, people, like, someone will make a new Dota out of it, like a Dota custom game. So, I mean, I think it'd be great for just, I don't know, Blizzard in general to do it. But now there's so many other companies that pull strings under them, like Activision and everything. Well, they used to just do
Right.
whatever they wanted.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, like maybe there was an optimal time to do that. Like had they never done the StarCraft Ghosts or whatever it was called
Yeah.
that never saw the light of day,
Mm.
like maybe there's a sweet spot where they could have done that, but yeah, it just really seems like it's very money oriented. Like I don't think it would be I don't know though. I'm trying to think about like the art, like Warcraft 3, and it's like there's probably areas in that game that you could monetize better if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Because it was just simple, and like they didn't have, you know, the knowledge we have now of like microtransactions or any of that shit.
Yeah, well, it's a lot harder to even do it online because it's like just playing online was a struggle, let alone buying stuff online.
Yeah.
So but it's become such a even just generalized, culturalized like form of like entertainment. Like it used to be like, oh, this is gamer, you know, hashtag game. Like what a loser. Like you just sit in your house, play games. Now everyone's like, dude, Fortnite, bro. Like this is Call of Duty, dude. Like everybody loves it. It's like, so that's why it feels like a lot of people have been fighting that off a bit, where they're like, just be gone, Call of Duty gamers.
Right.
You're like, this is my hobby now, where it's like, it's a bit gatekeepy, but like, I can still see why they do it, because I still get that feeling of like, this is what I would do. This is my hobby. So I don't know.
I just recently became more familiar with that term, or it's becoming more popular. The saying something's either gatekeepy or they're being gatekeepers. Or, yeah, kind of funny.
Yeah, it is kind of fun. I mean, at this like I said at one point, I'm like, yeah, those people are doing that, and then I kind of do it a bit at times. But I think it's just a natural reaction to wanting something that you enjoy to be special. And I guess when it becomes so generalized, it loses that special feeling a bit as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think a lot of people feel that's happened to WoW, and that's why so many people want classic WoW to come back.
Yeah, it's cool that they're doing that though. It's such a like. From everything I've read and everything, it sounds like such a undertaking for this, you know. I wonder how they did the fucking data collection for like how badly people want classic WoW back, because that seems like such an undertaking. Yeah,
just rebuilding the entire game. And it's like being the person working on that, you're not even like getting to recreate something fresh or your own idea. They're like, all right, rebuild
it's
this.
Thankless. It's so fucking thankless.
It's almost like having to recreate someone's videos or something, or like going back. It's like make your old videos again. It's like, all right, let me try to do that.
God. That's a funny comparison.
And I guess the last thing I'll ask you is just about YouTube in general. Like, did you ever think you would get this big on YouTube, or even for what you do? Because I know you said you wanted to go into gaming in particular. Like, do you kind of wish you could do gaming instead of kind of all the IRL type of stuff? Like, I guess less controversial stuff, more gaming. I mean, there's still controversy in gaming stuff, but you know.
I mean, yes and no. It's one of those things. It's like, that's what I started with, and that's what I like. But at a certain point, I think why I'm trying to avoid doing like maybe let's play content where like I'm recording too much of like myself and just enjoying a game is because I can't like turn it on. It's really hard for me to like properly enjoy a game while trying to make content. If that makes sense. I don't have it in me. I know a lot of people are a bit different in that, but so what I'm mainly doing now is like trying to record my normal gaming experiences and just like making sure I have a really big hard drive size so I can maybe make a video around what I have recorded, rather than just like sort of stream of consciousness, sort of like I want to put gaming content out there, but at the same time I'm not posting very much, so maybe that's the wrong way of doing it. Who knows?
Oh, I mean, there's like I don't know if you've seen Donkey. Like, I think Donkey does that really well.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah. I just recently actually met Donkey at PAX, and he. I admire that type of content. I'm definitely inspired by that. It's really just like a good in between, I'd say.
Yeah, because I mean, I think with a Let's Play, it's more like almost you're improvising, you're entertaining as you're going along. Well, with that style of content, it's more like your editing plays a part in it, and you're like how you're saying things and just all that.
Yeah, and that feels a lot better, I think. But no, I'm just right now, like I said at the beginning, like my goal is to be able to do a little bit of each on each channel, and people are going to be upset about that, but it's kind of like, what are you going to do? If
Yeah.
that's what you want to make, it's what you got to do.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened with me, even because after I had my big WoW machinima rush where I'd make all these back in the day, and then I started shifting to more of a generalized
Right.
scope. A lot of people were like, "I miss the old WoW Crendor. Like, this is what I
Yeah.
grew up with," and I'm like,
That shit's
"Yeah,
tough. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like, yeah. Well, don't don't ruin what you grew up with. All right, like let me age gracefully. You're not gonna ask that guy from Blue's Clues to come back and do his,
I
Blue's
mean, they
Clues
probably
again.
would ask him to come back and do Blue's Clues again."
Yeah, that'd
uh,
be a frightening thing. And now
it's like,
you got Blue, who's like now a 3D animated Fortnite looking dog.
yeah. It's, people change, like the platform changes, like YouTube in general's changed. Like I have more fun streaming on Twitch than I do making videos at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's when you do a let's play, it's like you said, you flip the switch on, you're like, "What's up, everybody? Gamer 454 here." But when you're live streaming, you're just like, "Yo, what up, everybody?" I mean, there's still live streamers that are putting on a show or increase, but for the most part, you can just be yourself and just chill out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, and there's less competition because everyone has to do the grind on Twitch. It's like you're going to be doing that for at least a couple hours, but with the gaming, it's like, or the YouTube uploading, it's like this is the thing that gets uploaded, and I gotta appease the algorithm, and I need people to be engaged in that first 15 seconds. First 15 seconds means fuck all on Twitch.
Yeah, it is absolutely. That's the other thing with YouTube is like way back when people didn't really know as much about the algorithms and YouTube, like and how everything works. Like I remember one of the reasons I got a lot of views at the start was I made the unreleased Cataclysm trailer, and so people would search for Cataclysm trailer, and they'd be like, "This isn't the real one." Then I'd be like, "Yo, yeah, I guess it was clickbait essentially." But I mean, I was telling them what it was.
Exactly.
Blizzard didn't really unrelease it, or if that's even a word. But it's just kind of you're essentially just marketing and doing all this stuff back in the day, and now it's people know more about it now.
Mm-hmm. So it really just takes one person.
Yeah.
You can search up GTA 6 right now, and you get so many great results that have nothing to do with GTA 6 at all.
Yeah, and especially now that like kids are growing up watching YouTubers, and now a lot of those kids are getting to an age where they can do YouTube and make it, and so it's becoming like, I want to be a YouTuber. It's like, well, back when I started this, it was just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm making videos on YouTube, Mom and Dad. And they're like, what the shit, YouTube? I don't even know what that is. And now everyone's like, oh, yeah, my kid watches that YouTube. Or like if you talk to adults, and then kids are just like, oh, my God, do you know this big YouTuber? And it's like, haha, nope.
It's insane. It's just such a weird thing. I feel most bad, I think. Or maybe I shouldn't feel bad for them. But the really early adopters on YouTube who are like, who got 100,000, subscribers, and that was huge at the time.
Yeah.
Like no monetization, no fucking anything. It's like, everyone, cries about demonetization these days, but it's like, hey guys, remember me? Like back when I was killing it on this platform for free, and I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for fucking whoever else was actually doing it at that time.
Yeah.
A lot of their names have just fucking just been erased.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, because I remember during that time, I was watching some of them even, and then because I did YouTube, I think for about a year and a half, 2 years without making any money. So I mean, it was just a hobby for me at that point. But I went back and looked up some of those people, and I'm like, wow, they have fallen.
Yeah. Oh, it's really exciting. If you go to any of these videos, I think Max Mofo maybe made one, or I think it's an old video. It's just basically like this really cool time capsule, where it's like what YouTubers were on top, like I don't know, 2000 during 2009 or something like that, 2008. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
But you look through like everyone who's at the top, and it's like it's no one who's on top now, or no one who's even fuck it. It's weird. It feels like an alternate reality.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's why I always say like I'm like a YouTube caveman. It's essentially like doing this for almost 10 years at this point. It's like people are like, oh, this guy's so big now. Just wait. He's like, and I'm like, I've seen, you see civilizations rise and fall.
Yeah. Some people try to like, you've been pretty steady on what you've been doing for a long time. And I think there's like a lot of good in that, because it's like, it's simple, and it's like, you really can't take anything away from you. Like there's a lot of people who try to rebrand like heavily. Like what was one? I think back in the day there's this guy called the Amazing Atheist.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I just came across I think something recently, and I think now he's going by TJ Kirk, and it's like well, there you go. It's like that worked from like way back in the day, having such a polarizing name like the Amazing Atheist. But it's like, doesn't really work these days, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, mine is like, I guess wowcrendor, and some people now are like, you're not wowcrendor as much as you used to be, and that's like the only thing, I guess, for me. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Have you thought about rebranding at all?
No.
Because you probably can.
I mean, I've rebranded essentially to Crendor, but that's like about it.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Because then it's like, less of
like World of Warcraft.
This is what I do, and this is what I do all the time.
Yeah, so I've just gone
I'm the WoW
into
god.
But I always compare it almost to like a professional sport, where I feel like I'm that old dude still playing in the league with like all the kids coming up. Like, here's the star, the LeBron James coming in now, and I'm like, I've been playing for like 10 years at this point. I'm like, I'll come in, I'll hit a 3-pointer, I'll like go back to the bench and like talk to everybody. Like, you kind of know people. And you're like, my knee's giving out, but
is that sort of what it's like in the WoW community right now? Like, are there people that you see like streaming WoW on Twitch that you're like, this is a kind of a new guy in the scene?
It's kind of just been like that for a long time at this, like, just even with people like PewDiePie rising, and then he kind of balances out, and then other people rising up and balancing, like, not just the WoW community, but like, I guess it's because gaming's got a lot more popular too. Like, some people blew up. Like, one dude, I actually fished with Asmongold. I don't know if you've seen Asmongold.
Yeah, I think I've seen his stuff.
Yeah, like, he's blown up recently, and I think he's a funny dude, and I like talking to him. And he, I remember talking to him about a year ago. I think I fished with him, and he was like, yeah, I just want to keep growing, keep getting bigger. That's like, that's my ultimate goal. And I was like, dude, that's like my opposite goal. I want to stay right in the middle, coast along. I think I was, look at me, it was Bill Burr. Bill Burr was talking. He was like,
when you were saying that, I was like, that kind of almost sounds exactly like something Bill Burr would say.
Like, I love Bill Burr. I always listen to his podcast. He's just so funny. And I love, he talked the one time, he's like, dude, I would never want to be huge, but he's like, I don't want to be at the bottom either. I want to be in the middle. He's like, I want to go on other people's shows and promote my stuff, and then go back to doing my like shitty podcast I do, and just rambling about stuff, and just be right in the content middle.
It's so fucking underrated, the idea that, like, because you can completely avoid like controversy, it's like, you don't skyrocket, but it's like, do you really need to skyrocket, or do you just need to make a living so you can buy games and eat pasta? Like,
I guess it depends what your end goal really is. Some people want that like mansion and like the fame and the stuff. Like, I don't want that. Like, I don't. I just want to sit at home, play games, and just chill out. But I guess that's who I am.
Not everyone's goal,
Yeah. But
damn.
Yeah.
Are we getting close to the end of this sucker?
Yeah, we are close to the end. In fact, we should probably end it there. It's around an hour. I usually go around an hour.
Okay, cool. I like that. That was very pleasant.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I try to do. I try to keep that theme of like two men in a boat fishing with like a beer or something.
Yeah.
It's a lot of interviews. They're like, well, let me ask you the list of questions I've written up here.
Right.
So.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, no problem. Where can people find you? I'll put your links in the description or whatever, but where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at iDubbbz. iDubbbz is spelled with 3 B's and a Z or a Z at the end. And yeah, 3 channels: iDubbbz Games, iDubbbz TV, and then iDubbbz TV too. I think. I don't know.
All right, just pretty much just search iDubbbz. You'll find him.
Yeah, you'll get it.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming on. And I never know how to end these, so I'm just gonna click the button that ends it. See ya.